beautiful friends, what's up, and welcome to a what I eat in a day. And I think I have a little bit of explaining to do, but let's jump in first to my mini grocery haul from Trader Joe's. And I have a beautiful breakfast pumpkin bread to share with you, and then I'll jump into explaining why I went gluten-free in case you're curious, and then we'll go to lunch and dinner and I'll show you my full day of eats. I'm going to share with you really quickly a quick Trader Joe's haul that I picked up this morning to just kind of share with you some items I got since going gluten-free. Here is my little tiny haul. I just got a few things just to kind of get me through about the week because we're going to be gone for a long time, so I didn't want to like stock up on food, and I can buy stuff when we're away. And like I keep saying, gluten-free is not hard with the way that I eat whole food plant-based. I just had to make a few simple swaps. Thank goodness that potatoes are always and forever gluten-free. These are my favorite potatoes. So I grabbed a bag of the Japanese sweet potatoes. I also got two new seasonings, the green goddess and the chili lime, which sound really good with rice, right? Doesn't that sound good? I'm gonna make a huge meal prep here soon, probably tomorrow. So you'll see that video coming out soon. Let me know if you've tried either of these. I think they both look really good. You all know I love my flour, and I did some research on blog posts and people said this one was really good. It's just kind of expensive. I mean, coming from someone who was used to paying like $2 for 5 pounds of flour, this is $4 for 1 pound of flour. So I'm gonna try it. I'm going to do a pumpkin bake with it. We'll see how it works out, but it has good reviews, so we'll see. I really do like the Red Mills gluten-free 1-to-1 flour that I've used in the past. I will link that video down in the description box below if you want to see it for gluten-free bread. But I have a lot of bread recipes I want to try because bread is like my life, bread and pasta. So I did get the brown rice pasta. This was something that was recommended to me, so I am going to try it. I know I've had this in the past, so we're going to try it again. And then this one I already know that I like. It's the red lentil pasta. These are $1.99 at Trader Joe's. This is $2.99. Again, coming from someone who's paying like 99 cents a package for pasta, you know, it does increase 3 times, which is a lot, but you can cut corners other ways. At least that's what I plan to do. Okay, so for rice, I got 2 different rice that I have never had before. The Cal Rose rice, which is really tiny, and it reminds me of the rice that was in the Annie's vegan rice that I had last week. So I'm super excited to try that. And then the basmati rice, I don't think I've had this one. A friend of mine recommended it to me. She said it was really good. Thank goodness that rice is also gluten-free, so there's a few staples. And I was super happy to see that polenta is also gluten-free. Honestly, when you're looking, you feel like you're gonna find nothing, and then when you find stuff, you're really excited. This I love air fried. Oh, so good. In a salad. I don't know what I'm gonna make with this yet. We'll see. Fresh basil, which okay, don't hate me, I hate the smell of fresh basil, but I really like the taste. So I don't like the smell of it. This is gonna be packed really quickly and popped in the fridge so I don't have to smell it, but I'm going to make a really delicious pasta dish. So I did get a large thing of basil. And then these, I got these little tomatoes because tomatoes are like my favorite thing ever, but they're kind of like fall colored, so I thought they looked really pretty. They're gonna go with the basil and the pasta dish. And then like I said, I'm gonna play around with a pumpkin bread or a pumpkin bake. So I did get 2 cans of the pumpkin at Trader Joe's. Normally this is something I would pick up at my local grocery store, but I was there today, so I thought, why not? I'll just grab it. So I did mostly get a lot of starches, not a whole lot of veggies because I have things on hand, and just enough to kind of get me through about a week. I started my day with a snack. I had 2 large handfuls of dates, and this was before my workout. Now this is kind of an odd day of eating for me because it's a weekend, so it's not very scheduled, but bear with me, I'll try to explain, but you're gonna get some really good recipes. So I did decide to go ahead and make the pumpkin bread recipe. I'll type it out and leave it in the description box below. It's really easy. Flour, sugar, pumpkin, some chocolate chips, cinnamon, baking soda. That's it. It's very simple. And this pumpkin was probably the most firm canned pumpkin that I've ever opened. Usually it has a little bit of liquid in it. It's a little squishier, but this one from Trader Joe's was super firm. I didn't add any nut milk to this recipe. You totally could, but like I said, I'll tape out the recipe, leave it in the description box. And I'm sorry if I'm giving anyone who bakes a lot anxiety. I don't like measure everything precisely, and I know with baking you should. I just have never done that for baking, and well, whatever I make ends up turning out just fine. So this was delicious. I had the dates as a pre-workout, and then I actually had my breakfast right before eating lunch. So breakfast and lunch were like piggybacking each other because I did a run and a like weightlifting workout both at home this day. But this bread was so delicious. I hope you make it. I love fall breads. I love dessert breads. I think they're very versatile for desserts or snacks or breakfasts, and my husband loves them as well. So it's a double bonus. We both get to enjoy the bread and the meals that I made this day. So really quick, in a nutshell, I wanted to explain to you that I went gluten-free, and I saw a specialist last week, and I actually have an appointment with another specialist who I will probably work with. Fingers crossed, she has a client opening for me that actually my friend Lauren referred me to. But just a little background, I feel like almost on every single video I either have commented on it on my video or left a comment pinned down below, but many people have asked me, like, why don't you eat whole wheat flour or whole wheat pasta or specific items? And I've always said it just really hurts my stomach. But the reason I never thought I had issues with gluten is because I could eat regular pasta, or so I thought, and regular flour and all these other items that didn't give me the same stomach issues as whole wheat items did. So I talked with one specialist who said that the reason I probably wasn't noticing as high of an allergy reaction to the white flours and pastas I was eating compared to the whole wheat ones is they probably had less gluten in them. But after we dug into it, after multiple days of eating these items in a row, I was having a reaction and not even noticing. I was assuming it was from something else, and I didn't know it was from the pastas or the bread that I was eating. But one specific example I can give you that I noticed the biggest is every time after I did a potato reset or a Mary's Mini and I went 7 or 5 or even 10 days with having no gluten in my diet, and then I would eat gluten, my stomach would be so upset. I was also starting to have allergic reactions like acne on my face and my back, which is huge. Now, I don't have celiacs. I have, like I said, I've been blood tested. I don't have celiacs. I just have an allergy to gluten or an intolerance. So what we're going to do moving forward is just put me on a gluten-free diet as best as possible. Now, the thing is it's a learning curve. There are going to be some items where you don't realize there's gluten in it, but thankful my intolerance is pretty steady right now. Like if I have something with a little bit of gluten, I probably won't notice a huge flare up, but I am gonna have to switch my bread recipes over to being gluten-free and my pasta gluten-free, and just easy swaps. I feel like overall the swaps so far haven't been that bad. This is actually day 10, so I'm still very new to this. I'm excited, but also like saddened that I'm losing my favorite bread recipes of all time, but nothing here on my channel will change. I want you to know that, and anything that you need to swap out for regular items versus gluten-free, especially for budget videos and such, yes, they will still be coming, will be really, really easy. So I'm excited, but like I said, it's a whole new journey for me. I'm a little bit nervous. If you are gluten-free, let me know in the comments below. Let me know anything that helped you product-wise. If you have a good bread recipe, let me know. I found a few of them, like I'm saying French bread or really good like crunchy homemade bread. I have a couple of gluten-free bread recipes here on my channel that I've done that I really have liked before, so I have high hopes that I'll find a good French bread and a good white bread. But it just feels like a little bit of a new journey of being a little bit more cautious. The nice thing is when you're whole food plant-based, you can just swap over to potatoes and rice and veggies and you're good. Like you don't have to have, you know, the flour products or anything like that. This is just kind of an added bonus and things that I really enjoy. I have found a couple pastas I really like. I'll show you one of them here really quick. So far, this is probably my favorite pasta that I've found. I have purchased this at Albertsons. It was actually on clearance, so I don't even know if they're gonna have it anymore. It's called American Beauty, and it's white rice, brown rice, corn, and quinoa. Also, if you've been around my channel for a while, you know that brown rice has really bothered me, and I actually asked him about this, and I said the reason I didn't think I had gluten allergies is because brown rice would always bother me, same with quinoa. And unfortunately, sometimes when your stomach is already very sensitive and already like doing too much work, some of those items can just cause flare-ups because your body is already flaring up. And certain items like quinoa and brown rice tend to be a little bit harder to digest already. So he was saying that like if I slowly add them back in just to see how I feel. Anyways, all of that thrown at you just to let you know, hi, my name is Miranda. I'm whole food, plant-based, and now gluten-free, and still smiling, still happy, still thankful that my body and science and there are items out there to replace it. You never know. And honestly, if I had not gone whole food plant-based, I would have probably never researched or done any work towards seeing what was, you know, causing my body those discomforts. So thumbs up for that. But anyways, let's jump back into this what I eat in a day. I have a really good lunch recipe to share with you that you guys are going to love. So let's get into that and then dinner. For lunch, I decided to go ahead and make a spaghetti squash. These things are so good, but they're such a pain to me. So I poked some holes in it and I popped it in my microwave to soften it. And then I sliced it, scooped out the insides, and then put it in my oven for about 18 minutes. Now, while this lunch was getting ready, I had my breakfast, and then I actually made dinner right after this because I did not want to spend all day in the kitchen. Like I said, it was the weekend, and I thought if I make lunch and dinner back to back, then it'll be easy peasy. We can just pull dinner out of the refrigerator and I don't have to be back in the kitchen. I love being in the kitchen, but some days you just don't want to go in the kitchen for 3 separate meals, let's be honest. So I did decide to make a quick sauce, and this Green Goddess seasoning blend from Trader Joe's is amazing. You can definitely make it from home. You can pause that screen and see the ingredients. It's like parsley, oregano, onion, garlic. It's super simple. You could definitely just make it from home. So I took a can of petite diced tomatoes, some mushrooms, a little bit of water in that seasoning, and kind of let that simmer on the stove. And then that was the sauce that I put on my spaghetti squash. Like I said, I love spaghetti squash. It's one of my favorite things ever, but it is like a pain to prepare. So if you have an easier method than the one I'm using, let me know down below. I think the biggest pain is that it gets so hot. So cutting it and scooping out the insides kind of burns your fingers a little bit. I need to get one of those oven gloves instead of an oven mitt. So that's on my list now for when we move into our new house. But this was delicious, super easy. It's kind of like a thoughtless meal. You just had to like throw it together really quickly. And I would definitely make this again because I love spaghetti squash, and I hope you make it too. Dinner was another pasta inspired recipe. Honestly, I just really love pasta and tomatoes, anything tomato based, anything pizza based. I just love it all. So I've done this recipe before as an oven bake, but I decided to throw the tomatoes and the lemon into a hot skillet and let that cook while the pasta was cooking. And I actually really like this, so I didn't have to turn my oven back on. It was done once the squash was out of the oven, like I didn't have to turn it back on. The tomatoes you let sit and simmer. You can add a little bit of water or a little extra lemon juice if you'd like, and they get nice and warm and they kind of pop open a little bit while your pasta is cooking. So this in total takes less than 8 minutes to throw together. It's a super easy, quick meal. The fresh basil on the top is amazing. Plus I did sprinkle a little bit more of that Green Goddess seasoning on the top. I'm obsessed with that. That seasoning is so good. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you got some really good recipe inspiration. If you are not gluten-free, just swap the ingredients that I'm using that are gluten-free for traditional ingredients. No big deal. It's an easy swap because I'm using very basic ingredients like flours and pastas, simple switches that I'm actually really grateful that I am whole food plant-based, that the switches are so easy and it's not overwhelming if I was on like a standard American diet. So it makes this lifestyle so easy and I'm really thankful for that. Again, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye-bye.